What's up, guys? Mike Patrick, and in this video I want to talk about or give some perspective on why you should not buy into the dream of retirement. Okay, now this is just a perspective. It's not to say it's like this for everyone or that it would end up like this for everyone, okay, but it's just a way of looking at it because it makes sense. Not to mention I've observed it, so you can actually see it out in society to know that it's an issue. Now, guys, for a long time, people have the blueprint or the format of working for a certain amount of time and then retiring and then living the rest of their days out on retirement, right? Well, have you guys noticed you see people older and older working more and more, right? At ages that should be well into their retirement. Now, why is this the case? Now, in some cases it may just be people still wanting to stay active and still have a job, you know what I mean? And just not to get too old too fast, okay? Because what has happened to a lot of people is you've been used to working for so long, 30, 40 years, and if that's what the Most High, if that's what you chose to do with your free will, if that's what you chose to do, and if that's all that the Most High put on your heart for you to do with your life, and you don't have a whole lot of hobbies or anything else outside of, say, working and maybe children, you know what I mean? Well, when you retire, 9 times out of 10 your children are grown, right? And then 9 times out of 10, if you don't have anything else that you feel like you have a calling to do, then you may get bored. And then when you get bored, you start to wither away faster. So you've seen people who seem to be reasonably healthy all throughout their careers or whatever, and then the minute they retire, their health start going down the toilet. Alright, guys, so what you want to do is look at what the circumstances are at the moment and then gauge it. Okay, guys? Now, so if you see all these people that looks like they're at retirement age still working, and they're not those people who are just doing it just to be doing it, okay, for other reasons that's not monetarily, let's look at it from a monetary standpoint. A lot of them are working because they still have to. Because, for example, with inflation and things like that, retirement is not exactly what they thought it was, okay? Which goes to show you that the climate can change, and then that plans change and the blueprints change, okay? And so if somebody's teaching you, I touched on this in past videos, talking about along the lines of how somebody's teaching you an old format or an old blueprint, okay, that doesn't work anymore, that may not work in the near future. You see what I'm saying? But you still following that format, then you're going to be in that same circumstance. You see what I'm saying? And typically, what they would say was a bad circumstance when things were different, okay, then you have to gauge that too and realize that the way things might have been in the past might not be how they'll be in the future, okay? So what happened with a lot of people too, working 30, 40 years with their eye on retirement, okay, being told 30, 40 years ago that if you do this for a certain amount of time, then this will be promised to you at a certain time in the future, okay? And then, with the climate changing, right? Then, things change, and now you find yourself burnt out, or you sacrifice a lot of your health in many different ways, okay, over the past 30, 40 years, okay, your whole life pretty much, and now you burnt out, and now you sick, or you kind of broken down or whatever. You're not at your full potential, and then you still working, or you still gotta work. You see what I'm saying? it makes you think about it now in hindsight and say, maybe if I took care of my health, if I prioritized things a little differently, you see what I'm saying, then I can be in a position that if I couldn't retire, because if I broke myself down or wore myself out for 30, 40 years, you know what I'm saying, that I couldn't work. You know what I mean? Now, if you keep the perspective of, well, I can stay young longer, and then if I do have to keep on working because of inflation or something like that, I'm more able to do it. Make sense? So that's how things change, and that's just a little bit of perspective, okay, guys? Just something to think about, because ask yourself, do you see that? Do you see more people at retirement age, for you millennials, okay, going forward? Do you see a lot of people working at retirement age that even when you was younger, you see what I mean, you didn't see people in their 60s, 70s working as much as you see. You see what I mean? Especially in some of the different positions. You know what I mean? So it goes to show you that things are changing. All right, guys. Peace.